What's up, guys? So I wanted to make a follow-up video on the Squat U video, uh, a little less ranty. Um, the reason that Aaron can make stupid fucking statements like that, if you don't know the statement, he basically said, "Who's more impressive, lifter A, who squats 650 pounds but with hip shift and slight knee cave, or lifter B, who squats 500 pounds with perfect technique?" And he said lifter B is more impressive to him, which everybody's entitled to their opinion, even if it's fucking stupid. Um, he can say that thing because he's never walked the walk. He's never pushed his body to the limits of what's capable of him physically, in terms of maximally loading a squat. Which, that's, if that's not his thing, that's fine. Nobody's required to push their bodies to maximal lifts. Um, but it makes it easy to make those stupid statements. Again, having never done it, he doesn't know what it takes personally to get there. He's observed, I'm sure, people pushing themselves to get there, and he's maybe helped some people along the way. But having never ever done it himself leads him to be able to say something that fucking ignorant. Um, and again, I'll say this, that it's not a requirement to be strong to help others get strong. It's not a requirement to have been a power lifter to coach power lifters, uh, to be a football player to coach football, etc. But people who haven't done the sport that they're coaching and coach a sport are the exception. They are not the rule. Everybody will say Boris Chico. And again, he is the exception. If we look right now at, the top three coaches I can think off my head, even four, Joey Flex, Josh Bryant, Chad Wesley Smith, and maybe like Bryce Lewis. They've all put up respectable totals. Bryce Lewis has won, I think he's won IPF Worlds. I know he's won USAPL Raw Nationals. I don't want to misquote, but I think he's won IPF Worlds. Chad Wesley Smith, obviously, he's totaled over 1,000 kilos. I think he's totaled over 2,300 pounds. Josh Bryant totaled 2,000 raw way back in the day. And Joey Flex has put up I think he's totaled around 1,900 maybe. Drug tested as a 275-ish lifter, or 264 now with the new weight classes. Anyway, they've all competed, at a respectable, if not high levels. And it's the same, you look in other sports. You look like Phil Jackson was an NBA player, won championships as a player. Like Bill Belichick in football. I don't think he ever played in the NFL, but he played college football, so still played at a pretty high level. And that's typically the case. Your number one top best Hall of Fame players usually don't go on to be coaches or great coaches. But even the majority of coaches did play at some level, and usually to a higher level than most other people ever play. And that gives them the ability to empathize with their players. A very, very, very underrated attribute in terms of a coach. It is extremely hard to relate to somebody who hasn't been where you've been and trying to tell you how to get to where you're going. And that doesn't necessarily mean like you can't hire somebody that's weaker than you or something like that. Because even that said, like, I hired somebody to fix my deadlift who didn't deadlift as much as me. However, I've seen them, progress their deadlift and go from, point A to point B, and how they did it. So they could still relate to what I was going through in that capacity. Not the weight itself, but progressing in your own weights. So they were very much relatable to me in that matter. And I feel like that's highly important. Maybe even more so in a sport like powerlifting, where it's very individualized, and something like that. So, and even, powerlifting aside, it seems clear that the, Squat U guy has never really pushed his body over years of time to maximal efforts, progressing in significant amounts of weight. And that makes it easy for him to make that stupid statement of 500 being more impressive than 650. And again, this is assuming all other things are equal. We're not talking about like, oh, if it's a 150-pound guy squatting 500 flawlessly and a 300-pound guy squatting 650 with slight technical errors. It's assuming all other things are equal. So yeah, it makes it, and it makes it even more fucking smug and arrogant, in my opinion, when you've not. I don't think he's ever even squatted 500, much less 650. But it makes it even more fucking arrogant to say something stupid like that. You want to do your little PT thing. That's great. Help people, whatever. That's good and well. But maybe just kind of stay in your lane. I know there's work done with, the Martins Lisa's videos I referred to in the last video is what I knew him from mostly. And that's really great that he helped Martins. But, yeah, don't make a fucking ignorant statement like that. Holy fucking shit. Like, sell your little movements or whatever and try to help people move better. But in no realm of anywhere, is 650 not more impressive than 500, assuming everything else is equal. So, 6.5 minutes of words to say that he's only saying that because he can't empathize with somebody who's actually put in the time and effort to get that strong, because he's never put in the time and effort to get strong.